Going to give you 4 players to avoid in the early rounds of your 2025 fantasy football drafts. All 4 of these players are in the first 3 rounds, and the last guy, you want to stay tuned to this because he's in the first round. A lot of other channels are telling you to take him in the first round, and there are even some channels telling you to bet your house on him this year, which I find completely asinine. We're going to get to that. So before we do, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have fantasy rankings, sleepers, busts, cheat sheets, articles about the best and worst players from each round. Anything you need for your 2025 fantasy football draft, we have at walterfootball.com. Also, we have NFL power rankings, NFL mock drafts for 2026 and 2027, NFL picks against the spread. We grade every signing, we grade every trade. It's all at walterfootball.com, and it's all free, so check that out. All right, so let's get to these 4 players, and we're going to go in reverse ADP order. So we're going to start with Alvin Kamara here at 312. So barely making the cut in the 3rd round, which I think is crazy. I wouldn't take him until the 7th round, and even then, I wouldn't be too excited about it. I had a big argument with Kenny in our live fantasy mock draft that we did on Wednesday night, and he defended Kamara. I thought he made some good points, but I think this is a complete avoid. There's so many things wrong with this. First of all, Kamara's 30 years old. And, when he gets to 30 for running backs, they tend to fall off a cliff. Alvin Kamara last year kind of slowed down too. So you kind of wonder if that's going to be a trend now that this player is getting up there in age. And, he's not going to have too many years remaining. This is going to be the worst offense he's ever played in. The Saints have an awful offense with 2 bad quarterbacks. And it's not like, his offenses have declined since the Drew Brees days. But, Derek Carr is not while he's not a good quarterback, he's not an awful quarterback like Schuck or Rattler. Like he's like John Elway compared to those guys. Like Rattler and Schuck are gonna be awful this year. So the Saints offense is gonna be terrible. I have a rule. I just don't draft players in horrible offenses unless they're like completely elite, like Malik Neighbors, for example. Alvin Kamara is a complete avoid. And this is one thing that's really scaring me is if you're a Kamara owner, given his age, and his durability issues, he tends to get hurt. I think late in the season, like week 15, 16, 17, when you really need him, I think the coaching staff might be like, hey, Alvin, we're just going to lighten your workload a little bit because we want to see what we have in the young guys where we're like 2-12, 2-13. Like it doesn't matter at this point. We don't want to run you into the ground, which makes sense. And so do you really want to own Kamara in that situation when you're trying to win in the playoffs? Like, I think that's just awful. So I'm not touching this guy. Like I said, round 7 at the earliest. And even then, I wouldn't be too excited. We go 2 picks earlier, and we go to Breece Hall at 310. I think this is way too early. I think anyone drafting Breece Hall has not been paying attention to what's going on with the Jets this season. So with the Jets, they want to run a running back by committee. Aaron Glenn comes from Detroit. He saw this firsthand with Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery. And then beforehand, they had Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. They always ran multiple running backs. And it sounds like he wants to run with both Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. And honestly, Braylon Allen has looked like the better runner. He's just had so much more explosion. And all reports indicate that the Jets really like Braylon Allen, maybe more so than Hall. So I think that Hall, who has a torn ACL in this past, could eventually lose maybe more than 50% of the touches to Braylon Allen. Also, Isaiah Davis might take some touches away on 3rd down. Braylon Allen is getting the short yardage work, so Hall's not going to get the touchdowns this year. So that's going to be pretty scarce. Also, Hall is someone who relies on catching the ball. The Jets have Justin Fields, a scrambling quarterback. The scrambling quarterbacks tend to not dump the ball off because they run instead if they're in trouble. So Breece Hall's receptions are going to be down. This is just a complete avoid, and something that actually might save you if you draft Hall, or it could continue to hurt you. Breece Hall's in his contract year. The Jets are not going to be a good team, and they like Braylon Allen. So I think there's a good chance that Breece Hall is going to be traded. I definitely would not count that out. And what if he goes to a team that also runs him in a committee? I just think that this could be a complete disaster. I would avoid Breece Hall at all possible. If maybe round 6 is kind of where I take him. Round 3 is way too early. Tyreek Hill He's going at 307 here. I think he's definitely an avoid as well. There's so many landmines with Tyreek Hill. First of all, he's 31. He's a receiver who relies on speed, and speedy receivers at 31 plus, it's just asking for trouble. They just fall off a cliff like without notice. The receivers who last into the mid 30s are like those great route runners you see, like Anquan Bolden in the past. I think Devontae Adams could be the next receiver who plays into his mid 30s. In the past, obviously Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice had had a Pro Bowl season of 40. That's how amazing he was. But no, Tyreek Hill is going to fall off a cliff soon, and he lost a step last year. It wasn't like a huge step. It wasn't multiple steps, but he did not look as explosive last year as he did in previous seasons. Also, Miami's offensive line's a mess. It was last year. Now they brought in James Daniels at guard. That should help the run blocking, but they lost their left tackle, Teron Armstead. He's gone, so their edge blocking is going to be horrific this year. Tua's just not going to have time in the pocket to find Hill downfield. Also, teams have played the cover two shell against Miami, and it doesn't seem like Mike McDaniel has found a solution for that. Maybe it'll be Ollie Gordon or something, but he just hasn't done it. And I don't really like Mike McDaniel. I think he's a horrible coach. We saw that last year when Tua got hurt. He had no answer. There was one game last year where Alec Ingold had as many touches. The fullback Alec Ingold has as many touches as Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle combined. That was the Week 3 Seattle game where Miami got blown out. Of course, they got blown out with that dumb game plan. Like Mike McDaniel is a horrible coach. I don't think he will be able to make adjustments. Also, you have to worry about Tua's health. Tua is just a walking injury. If he gets hit in the head, he might be out for 6 weeks. And we saw what happened with the backups. Like Hill just wasn't producing with the backups. And this year it's Zach Wilson. Like, do you really trust Tyreek Hill to play with Zach Wilson for 6 to 8 games? I really don't. So those are all reasons to avoid Tyreek Hill. And, honestly, like Tyreek Hill might be losing it. Like this is like there's so many disruptions he has in the locker room and stuff like that. I think this might be like early onset Antonio Brown, like not walking off the field Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown when he was in Pittsburgh and is like wearing out his welcome, and then they just removed them from the team. I think that could be the case this year. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Hill is traded. All right, so the guy I would avoid in the first round, of course, Christian McCaffrey. You have channels saying bet your house on Christian McCaffrey. Like please don't bet your house. Even if you live in your mom's basement, please don't bet that house on Christian McCaffrey. He's a 29-year-old running back, so he's getting up there in age. He has a very long injury history. He's only played in 48.5% of the games since 2021. Like that's crazy. You're going to draft a guy in the first round who's missed half the games in the past 4 years. Now he's healthy now, sure, but allegedly, I don't even know if that's the case because he has chronic Achilles tendonitis, and that's going to resurface at some point. That's terrifying, and it's not just one foot; it's in both feet. So it only takes one to flare up, and he can miss multiple games. I think it's not a matter of if he's going to miss action; it's how much action he's going to miss. And I feel like I'd be shocked if he misses fewer than 6 games this year. I think we're going to see a lot of Isaac Guerendo. I love Guerendo. I'm drafting him every time in like round 12 or round 13. And I'm completely avoiding McCaffrey in the first round. Like when he's going early second round earlier in the offseason, I even thought that was too early, and I was passing on then. And now he's going 107. It's just like so much dumb groupthink here, where I think people are just afraid to be wrong, and they don't want to go against the consensus. And last year, the consensus, everyone told you to draft McCaffrey 101. I did not have McCaffrey as my RB1 or RB2 for that matter. I thought he was a complete avoid. And I still think that he's just too much wear and tear on his body. The chronic Achilles tendonitis really scares me. So, and plus San Francisco is not going to be as good this year, and they have a very easy schedule. But there are a lot of injuries with this team. I don't know why this team always gets injured. I heard they don't stretch enough or something, but I don't know. They have to fix that. But either way, no McCaffrey for me. If I was asked, like, where would I take McCaffrey? Like, if I'm in a league where every single person thought the same way as me, I think like round 3 is when it becomes interesting. But he's not going to last till round 3 in your league. There's so many noobs who are going to take him. So many people who listen to these dumb channels are going to take him. I would not take him. Don't bet your house on McCaffrey. Don't bet your house on Hill or Hall or Kamara. Avoid these guys. So that's it. Please tell me who else you want to avoid. There are other names I could have named as well on this on this video. So please let me know if I missed anyone, or let me know if you think I'm crazy and you should draft one of these guys. I'm sure Kenny will pop in and tell me how wrong I am. But otherwise, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content, and I'll talk to you in the next video.